Almost everywhere on Earth, even in a garden like this, we can find many different kinds of plants and animals. Here, we can observe a variety of small animals. Some of them are insects. On a single rosebush, we may find several kinds of insects, such as ants, a green lacewing, a ladybird beetle, and aphids. Aphids are also called plant lice. An aphid is about as large as the head of a pin. These tiny insects get their food by sucking juices from the stems and leaves of plants. But sometimes aphids become food for other insects. Even though many aphids are destroyed in this way, some survive, because aphids reproduce in large numbers. Here, a young aphid is being born. As the tiny aphid leaves its mother, its skin hardens. This hardened outer covering becomes the aphid's skeleton. What other animals have an outer skeleton? Reproduction, such as that of the aphid, is not common among insects. Most insects develop from eggs outside the mother's body. This green lacewing, for example, lays its eggs on the underside of a leaf. To lay its eggs, the lacewing spins a fine thread with a liquid from its body. Then it attaches an egg to the thread. The first stage of the lacewing's development takes place inside the egg. After several days, the egg hatches and a juvenile form, the larva, emerges. How closely does this larva resemble an adult lacewing? Let us watch the lacewing larva as it develops into an adult insect. The larva has specially adapted mouth parts and is able to feed itself as soon as it hatches. How tiny the lacewing larva is compared to an aphid. Yet the larva is able to attack the aphid and feed on it. Although the aphid is much larger in size, it cannot defend itself. The lacewing larva eats and grows rapidly. Soon it has grown many times larger than an aphid. When the larva is fully grown, it is ready to begin a new stage of development. Now the larva attaches itself to a leaf and spins a soft protective covering called a cocoon. Inside the cocoon, the larva will change into a pupa. During this pupal stage, the larva will change into an adult insect. This process of change is called metamorphosis. The word metamorphosis means change. Nearly all insects undergo metamorphosis. If this is an adult lacewing, where are its wings? If we look closely, we can see the wings expand. As the lacewing moves, It pumps body fluid through the veins in its wings, helping to expand the wings to their full size. Soon, the adult lacewing is ready for its first meal of aphids. Nearby, another insect, a ladybird beetle, is laying its eggs. The ladybird beetle also goes through a metamorphosis. Can you recognize the different stages? The ladybird larva is now ready to become a pupa. But instead of spinning a cocoon, the larva curls into a ball, and gradually its outer skin hardens to form a pupal case. This is different from the cocoon spun by the lacewing, but it serves the same function, to protect the developing insect. Later, the adult ladybird beetle emerges from its pupal case. Gradually, the color of its body will change. And for its first meal, what does the ladybird beetle eat? At first, it might seem that aphids serve only as food for other insects. But watch closely, and you will discover that aphids play another role in this community. As they suck plant juices, aphids give off a fluid that serves as food for ants. In exchange for this food, the ants protect aphids from other insects that might be harmful, such as the ladybird beetle. In this way, ants and aphids help each other. Think of other animals that help each other. We have looked closely at a few insects in this tiny community on a rose bush and have found that some insects are plant eaters. Others feed on the plant-eating insects. Some insects are helpful to each other. Some insects, like the aphid, bear young that resemble the parent. But most insects pass through a series of changes called metamorphosis. There are more kinds of insects on Earth than all other kinds of animals. No matter where you live, you can discover many insects and observe their role in the world of living things.